Hey everybody, and welcome back to Life with Lolo. It's time for our weekly recap of Power Book 3, Raising Kanan. This is season 1, episode 6, and it was titled Level Up. Alright, y'all, before I jump into this recap review, if you are not already subscribed to my channel, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button along with the notification bell to be notified when I drop new videos. And if you end up liking this recap review, go ahead and hit that thumbs up button along with the share button. Alright, y'all, let's just jump into it. So we see Rock. She at the projects, and she at the elevator. She keep pressing the button, pressing the button, pressing the button. This old lady come out the staircase, and she like, oh, honey, that elevator is broke. So Rox was like, oh, dang, I only been here a few weeks, and I keep forgetting. The old lady was like, well, I've been here for 40 years, and I wish I could forget. So, child, we see her hiking up 8 flights of steps in her high heels and everything. I said, child, boo. Somebody would have had to come down and put me on their back or something, child. I'd have been so out of breath in high heels. 8 flights. Girl, stop. But anyway, she make it up there, okay? She meets up with the super. Child, the super, oh my God, I told you the inspector was going to lose his, oh my God, I'm going to lose my job. Oh, I'm going to lose my job. I'm going to lose my job. She like, shut the beep out. So she go in there, and the inspector like, she like, what's the problem? What's going on? How you doing? So he like, you can't be making no renovations up in here. You must ain't never renting nothing or own nothing or whatever like that. Because let me tell you something here. You don't own nothing up in here. This is the state. You can't make no renovations. You can't even sneeze or put a magnet on the Frigidaire without me. So she like, oh, okay, well, how can we settle this or whatever like that? Or first he asked her like, what you doing? And she was like, well, you know, I'm a cook, and I was just trying to do a little renovations on the kitchen area. You know, I'm a single mama, just me and my son here, you know. And he was like, yeah, but you wanted to put this back the way it was. She was like, oh, okay, well, can we talk about it? So he like, oh, yeah, we could talk. You know, I got a couple meetings I got to go to right now. But maybe me and you can meet by ourselves alone later on the night, say around 8 o'clock. Here. So she was like, oh, okay, you know, all right, I'll be alone. He was like, when I mean alone, I just mean me and you. So she was like, yeah, what else does alone mean? So he go leave out. So, you know, he a whole sleeves or whatever like that. Rock, she play her role and stuff. And then she goes to the super and tell the super, look, my crew gonna be here later on today to finish this job. Make sure nothing interferes. He was like, but the inspector just said, she was like, F him, okay? We working. So she go on by her business. So we see Kanan, he with Famous, and they put up these flyers for the showcase and stuff. So Kanan sees these cars going to the gas station and stuff. So, you know, it's sparking his curiosity. So Famous interrupts his thoughts and stuff, and they talk about, you know, he's talking about his rhymes and stuff, saying like he about to blow up and yada yada yada. He gonna be so big, even Kanan gonna be on his dick and stuff like that. And Kanan like, wait, what? And so he was like, no, man, I'm saying, you know, my rhymes turning straight niggas gay. I said, boy, shut up. They ain't that good. But then we see Marcus run up on the doctor. He looking all crazy and stuff like that. She like, oh my. So he was like, I ain't mean to scare you, doc. I said, well, that's what you did. So he was like, you know, hypothetically speaking, what if I had a son? She was like, well, you know, my office hours. He was like, look, what if I got a son? Could that help my chances? So she was like, well, I mean, if you do got kin, yeah, we would have to do a different procedure since it's half for you and half for the mama and stuff like that. But, you know, it'll give you a few more years or whatever. And he was like, oh, okay. So she was like, well, how old is this hypothetical son? He was like 15. So she was like, usually you need them to be 18. And you need permission from the guardian. So he was like, all right, bet. So she gonna tell him you don't look well. He said, that's because I'm effing dying, doc. Like, you the doctor? The fuck? So we see Lou, baby Lou, child. He at the club with his boo, okay? And she telling him, you know, she hyping him up like, this would be nothing without you, baby. This would be nothing without you. He was like, you know, I'm just the money man. She was like, but you about to run shit. You know, you about to run shit. And then some dude run up to Lou asking him for some money. Because Crown owe everybody, child. I said, Lord. So he like, you know, I ain't unloading this truck unless I get my paper. So then Lou pop him off for a couple of dollars and stuff like that. He go unload the truck. So then we see Rox, she go over there to Lou and was like, you spending a lot of the money and stuff. He like, well, this is my money, Rox. I can do what I want to. So she was like, look, this gonna be a good spot to move product. So he was like, no, ain't no product being run. Ooh, got all of my nail done broke. Dang. Shoot, I got to file that down. So then he was like, ain't no product gonna be ran up at the showcase and stuff like that. So she was like, what you mean ain't no product gonna be ran up in the show? He was like, no, we gonna keep this clean or whatever. Child, if Crown sent one more person over there, he done sent the light man, he done sent the plumber, he done sent everybody and their grandma over there to get payment for before they will do anything at the showcase or whatever. So Rock's like, oh, okay. So Lou was like, at first he was like, look, man, I'm talking to my sister. I'll talk to you in a second. So dude like, all right. So then Rock's like, you just spending up all the money and stuff like that before I can get more product in or some shit. So then he was like, well, we need to keep this separate, Rocks. We need to keep this separate. So then she was saying, well, what about Neek? He was like, well, Neek ain't going to be selling up in here neither. I'm going to, let him know that too. So then she was like, all right, because somebody else ran up to him after he done just said, like, I'm having a conversation. And they see him talking. So they run up there talking about something, well, I need this. And so she was like, all right, well, keep paying the bills, little brother. But she said something like, go spend the money while I go out here and get us more product so you can make it or spend some more money or something, child. I said, And then here come Crown coming over there talking about something, oh, that's Rocks. Oh, she looking all shapely and shit. I said, if he don't shut the hell up, Rocks will bend him. We see the cat. He called Birkin to the office telling her that Marcus called out and that she's going to be alone and don't F up because he told her daddy that he was going to make sure she's safe and stuff like that. We see Lou. He ends up going to the tailors where Neek run his stuff out the back or whatever. So the dude like, yo, you must be lost or something like that. You can't come up in here. So he was like, well, I need to talk to Neek. He was like, about what? He was like, I don't talk to the help. Like, no, you run, go get him. So the front dude, he go back there, tell Neek that Lou out there. So Lou ends up going out. Of course, Neek's crew stands up and stuff. Neek all like, well, we at war and we beefing, but here you staying right here and ain't nobody getting killed. Makes me think, is what's going out there real? Or what's going in here real? Or is nothing real? I said, Neek, it's like, come on, shut up. So he like, look, I just want the show to be clean, no slanging, no trouble, whatever like that. He was like, Rock sent you down here? He was like, no, I came in here on my own. So he was like, okay, all right. And what is it for me? He was like, well, one day you're going to need a favor. He was like, oh, I like niggas that owe me favors, especially y'all. Okay. Well, and Rock's down for it, then, I'm down for it or whatever. So he was like telling his boys, like, this showcase going to be on some peace. So they all nod their heads and stuff like that. And as Lou walking away, Neek was like, Rock's lucky to have a brother like you, Lulu. You a reasonable motherfucker, whatever like that. It's just getting heated in these streets. And so Lou was like, I appreciate you. All right. And so then he go leave. Unique, he come and was just like, cause Scrap Homeboy, I don't know what Scrap Homeboy name was his child, but he came out the back. So he was like, he coming up in here in my office, it's the audacity for me. Like after they just killed one of my boys and then they just got the nerve to walk up in here like, okay. And then he gonna tell Scrap Homie, like, you and the turncoat nigga y'all go like that MF up talking about the showcase. I said, Neek, now you had just said you weren't gonna do nothing, but you be lying. You look like you a liar. But anyway, we see Marvin, he was some crew and he asking them, like if D showed up. They said no, so he go back to wherever he was going to, or go back to his car, I should say. We see Rock, she cutting Kanan's hair and stuff like that, and she asking him about symphony class, and Rock's already know the answers she need, but she's just trying to see if he gonna lie. So she asked him about symphony class, and he like, it's good, he a cool dude, yada yada yada. So she like, so when was you gonna tell me you were scooped up by the police? So he like, dang. How you find out? She was like, Scrap told me. Scrap suspect. No, you suspect, nigga. Like, I gotta keep finding out stuff from other people besides you. Now, who picked you up? Because Scrap said it wasn't none of the uncles. So who picked you up? So he was like, well, look, I told him not to tell you. I told him not to say nothing to you or whatever like that. And she was like, oh, so Symphony picked you up. So he was like, yeah, Mom, but don't be mad at him because I'm the one who told him not to pick, not to tell you and nothing like that. I said, boy, that don't even matter. Symphony ain't come to her and tell her. So he basically lied, and she had already gave him the dang on speech. So I said, child, boo. And so she tell him, like, you need to stop hiding and acting like a dumbass kid. Like, if you want to be down, you want to be down, but you keep acting like a dumbass kid and doing dumbass shit. Which is true. We see Juke, she watching a movie. It's a knock, knock, knock at her door. Turn out it's Nicole. Of course, they hug and stuff like that, child. We see Marvin. They sitting down. Where was they at, child? I don't know where they at. But Lou was there. Marvin was there, and of course, Rock. So Marvin is telling them that D ain't do the re-up or whatever. And D is the guy who was at the bingo hall. So he supplies, I couldn't get that word out. He supplies Neek and Rock. So he was at the bingo hall and stuff like that. So when the guys was out there waiting and Marvin came and asked them, did D come? That's who he was referring to. So she like, well, damn, we running low or whatever. And he like, we running low. We on fumes and stuff like that. Like, we need more, we almost out. So Rox is like, we always almost out and stuff like that. I'm gonna just have to piece some work together and stuff or whatever. So Lou, she tell him to go talk to somebody, and then she told Marvin to go talk to somebody else. So Lou was like, well, I got this showcase. So she looked and he was like, yeah, but but first, I'm gonna talk to Greasy. So then he gonna go deal with the showcase and stuff. So Marvin was just like, well, he had an attitude about the task he was given, and he like, well, you got me talking to other people, and it ain't no point in talking to them or whatever. And she was like, look, this business the one to keep y'all fed, so I suggest y'all do what I want to do. So then she left. So then Marvin was like, F your showcase, Lou. So Lou was like, oh, okay. Yeah, Juke performing. Oh, you ain't know. Yeah, step up and be a father, nigga. So he walked away. Nicole sitting there with Juke, telling her that her mama was tripping and stuff like that, and she F her parents and yada, yada, yada. She want to run away and, make love to Juke all day long. Juke was like, well, we can't do that, girl, because, we still teenagers and we both need homes and stuff, and I ain't finna run away with you and be homeless on the street and nothing like that, so I'm gonna stay here. So then she was like, well, my mama wouldn't have said that my mama would have said that if you was white. So Juke was like, no, girl, I don't think she would have, but if that's what you think, oh, okay. So, that wasn't really the conversation, but some of it was the conversation. I just filled in some stuff. So anyway, Nicole gonna be down there at the place to see Juke sing. So then we see Marvin, he hit it somewhere. Kanan stops him. So we see at the bingo hall, Rox, she coming in with her suit, she getting patted down and stuff like that. Dee done turned the grandmama hearing aid off again. I'll be cracking up. I be like, well, how's she supposed to hear the numbers? But anyway, Rox like, where the stash at, where the supply at or whatever like that. And so he said something about greener pastures, and basically he going to just supply Neek or whatever. And so he was saying like their business relationship has concluded. She was like, well, why? And he said, well, your competition gonna pay me 20% higher than what, the stuff is worth or what I sell it for, yada, yada. So she was like, he paying you 20% higher than what I'm paying you or whatever. And so then he was like, I need partners I can trust. And I can't trust you. She was like, well, ain't no real trust in this game or whatever like that. He was like, yeah, but your deceit goes beyond, what do you say, goes beyond a pale or some child. And he was like, something about Smurf with a test. Who the hell was Smurf? And so then grandma ended up getting bingo. I said, well, how she hear the numbers? So he was like, oh yeah, grandma did get bingo. Let me see them numbers. Oh yeah, you sure did. You can go. And so he dismissed her. I said, damn. And so I said, well, where they gonna get the re-up and stuff like that? And who is Smurf? Like, did I miss something? Did I miss this episode? Because I know it didn't come on last week. But who is Smurf? Because did he find out that she told the cop about the stash, and then the stash got taken? Was Smurf the one that Marvin put a bullet in? Like, who is Smurf? Like, I don't know, child. But y'all let me know, because y'all will let me know. So anyway, we see Kanan. He ended up showing Marvin the gas station. And the reason why he was so like curious about the gas station is because he wanted to make that a spot for where they can, sell drugs at. So it's not on the corner. The people come, get gas, and then they can not re-up, but get, some little something, something. So he was like, yeah, but they like that white pottery stuff because it was like in a white neighborhood or whatever. And so he was like, yeah, but they always talking about they want to be down. What's more down than crack? So he was like, I don't know. I'm going to think about it. Like, I dig the initiative. But, he going to think on it and stuff. So we see at the bodega, the wife got another black eye, rocks peep it, and she going to talk about something she feel. She was like, yeah, you feel on your husband's fist. And so Rox tells her that she want to meet her cousin and stuff. And she was like, well, I got a lot of cousins. She was like, yeah, but you know which cousin I'm talking about. And I know you can get a meetup with him. And so she was like, yeah, but my husband don't like my cousin. She was like, F him. Like, if we did everything our husbands wanted us to do, we'd be sitting around with dicks in our mouth all day long. So I need you to make that happen for me, okay? Go ahead and help make that happen. So she's smiling. I said, well, she got a task and she all in love with rocks and stuff like this, child. But we see the lady cop. What's her name? Burke. Yeah. So we see Burke. She watching Juke and Nicole. So Nicole got on her bus because Juke ended up walking her to the bus stop. She said she's going to end up coming to the showcase, yada, yada, yada. Juke, she walking down the street smiling and stuff. The cop tried to stop her and she was like, yeah, your friend don't look like she from around here. She was like, yeah, you don't either, 5-0. So she was like, yo, I just want to ask you a couple questions because I'm trying to investigate this murder of your friend D Wiz. So if you got any answers for me, feel free to share. So she was like, yeah, no, So here go the cop. Well, I know a lot of things and we can sit down and chat and yada. I said, well, y'all supposed to be girlfriends? Woman, you was a whole cop. If you don't go somewhere, and a white cop a day, if you don't go somewhere, she ends up taking one of the flyers for herself, the cop. So then we see Rock, she all in her red dress, because it's the night of the showcase and stuff. We see Kanan, he all in his Boys the Men outfit and stuff, and she was saying, okay, you look cute and stuff, but I don't know how to tie no tie, but then she ended up tying the tie, so I said, well, what was the point of that? But at any rate, she was saying, like how she wished that she had a man in the family and stuff like that to help, she wished that his father was there, basically. And he was like, well, what would be the other time that you wish that, my dad was there? She was like, yeah, when you was getting your shots, I thought you would never stop crying, yada, yada, yada. He was like, well, I don't think DEFCON would have been taking me to get my shots and stuff. So then she just looked. I said, girl, don't drop it. Don't drop the T. Don't drop the T. So then he gonna say, well, Mom, don't be mad at Symphony. It was my fault and yada, yada, yada. She was just like, all right, yeah. So then she ends up leaving. We see the MC for the show. He up there hyping up the crowd and stuff. We see Lou. He getting out out this limo with his girl and Famous and stuff. We see Scrap and his friend getting the guns out of the secret compartment in his car and stuff. So then we see Juke, she in the back pacing, she hella nervous. Nicole done showed up, she look cute. Famous pop in, he all hype and stuff like that. He the nickname Nicole girl Nick. White girl Nick. And then Juke nervous, she go in the bathroom, start throwing ups, child. I said, Lord. We see some dude on the stage, he rapping and stuff. Oh no, he was singing with his Gumby, and the girls, I thought it was funny how the girls in the crowd was like, oh, he's singing to me, girl. Yes, he is singing to me. I was cracking up. Then we see Rock. She go in to the apartment with the inspector, because remember she was supposed to meet the inspector at 8 o'clock. So she get there and stuff, and she, he's sitting there smoking a cigarette or something like that. And he's talking about something, well, I asked around. And it turns out you some kind of big time drug dealer. So then she takes some money out her purse. And she throws the money on the table and stuff like that. He starts touching her leg. And she like, no, this is a straight cash deal or whatever. So he ends up grabbing her, choking her up. And before she went into the apartment, she had her gun. She had her gun in her purse and stuff. So he ends up choking her up. Her purse go flying to the other room. She ends up kicking him. I guess she kicked him in the balls or something like that. So she falls down, gasping for air and stuff. And he go over there, grabbing on his balls. And then he ends up start unzipping his zipper. I said, no, this man ain't finna. Child. So she ends up picking up a sledgehammer and whomp, right in the head. See, I'd have kept hitting him, but she had stopped at one. So he was knocked out on the ground, blood drooling. I said drooling, blood dripping all on the on the ground and stuff. So then back to the showcase, we see Kanan. He go in the bag. Nicole introduced herself. Of course, Kanan knew who Nicole was and stuff. And then she ends up telling Kanan, like, look, you need to talk to her. Kanan, like, she don't want to talk to me. She's like, oh, she gonna talk to you. Don't even worry about it. So we see Rox. She called Marvin up. So Marvin comes in there and he sees the inspector on the ground. This time he all tied up. So she done tied him up and stuff. So he was like, you okay? She was like, make that nigga feel everything. Make he feel every little pain down to the end or whatever like that. So Marvin was just like, say less. He take off his jacket, he go over there, and he go to work. So then back at the showcase, we see Kanan. He knocking on the door. Of course, Duke like, go away, Kanan. Go away. I don't want to talk to you. Blah, blah, blah. So then he like, well, I hated myself for saying that. I can't even believe that bull had slipped out my mouth like that. I hated that I said that or whatever like that. And then he starts, talking about some time back on Coney Island when he lost all the money and stuff. And then something like he started crying or something like that. And then he was like, don't make me do it again. I'll start crying again and stuff. So then she opened up the door and then he like, come on, girl. You gonna be a banger out there. You gonna do the damn thing. And she like, well, because he was like, well, I ain't trying to hear Famous crying all his life. He ain't been famous and stuff. And so she was like, well, he kind of dope. He was like, look, don't let Famous hear you say that because then he ain't never gonna stop saying, he was famous and stuff like that. So then they start chatting. And then, of course, he done gave her the confidence to go out there. So, back at the apartment, Marvin had put this man into the closet. He still alive and breathing. I said, don't tell me this man about to bury this man in cement alive, child. I haven't seen it on the ID channel a couple times. But no, he wasn't going to leave him alive. Of course, Marvin in there fussing about how he don't get the respect he's supposed to get on the team and yada, yada, yada. So the dude like, so he's trying to say something. Marvin like, well, thank you for listening to my TED Talk. And then he picks up the nail gun and puts 2 nails in that man's brain. I said, oh my God. And then he commences to building the wall. I said, oh my. You ain't put no lye in there. That's gonna stink. Like, well, I guess it's the project, so the hallways probably smell like urine and shit. Anyway, so yeah. But I'm like, but death, that has a distinctive smell. So that might not go over too well, Marvin. You ain't really think that went through. But we'll see later, child. So then we see Rox. She had the showcase. She goes to the bar. She order a vodka double. The bartender like, all right. Symphony come, child. He like, put that on my charge. She just walk out. So he like, Rox. He start following her, stuff like that. She done left the whole damn showcase, child. He like, look, you mad at me? I know you mad at me like that. So it's just like, I told you, nothing comes between me and my son. Nothing comes between us, whatever. He was like, well, look, your son called me or whatever like that. And she was like, but didn't I tell you he ain't your son? Just because you screwing me don't mean he your son. You don't do nothing. You ain't tell me. So therefore you lied to me because you did something behind my back. So therefore you betrayed me. So he like, what? So that's it? So then she like, yeah, that's it. So he walked away all sad, and then she walked away. She hurt too, because that she had little feelings for him and stuff like that. Child, there's some commotion at the door. She go back across the street. Lou come out. He tells the people, like, look, don't nobody come in here strapped or nothing like that. I don't care who you are. I don't care if you the 5 Temptations. I don't care if you Michael Jackson. I don't care if you Toto or Tito or Dorothy from The Wizard of Oz. I don't care who you are right now. You can't come in here strapped. So, Rox come over there. Oh, no. He was like, the man said something. And he was like, well, you far from the south side. You a long way. You on the south side right now. You a long way from Brooklyn. And, not everybody make it home. Dude saw Rox and he looked at her and then his tune had changed or whatever like that. Lou go over there and talk to Rox and she like, look, I'm proud of you or whatever, but tomorrow we back on the grind. So he was like, all right. So then Lou go back over there, was like, pat him, they can come in, but pat him down first or whatever. We see Rox, she see the popo sitting over there lurking. And then she tells The popo, like, tell your partner it's a dangerous place to get between a mother and her child. She like, well, I don't know what you're talking about. She was like, but he do. So run that message. So she's like, oh, okay. Child, purple suit upstairs in the VIP. He getting on everybody's nerves. He talk to Lou girlfriend. Then Lou girlfriend was like, I'm Lou's girl. And so he was like, all right, he seen Nicole. He like, oh, hey, we can make some pretty black and white babies and stuff. She was like, skirt. So then Lou girl come over there, skirt. And so then Crown come over there. Child, did he put did he put cocaine or LSD in that goddamn weed? I don't know, but he said it was going to be out of this world experience. I'm thinking it was LSD. So he tried to give it to Lou's girl. She like, I don't do that. And so he ends up giving it to Nicole. I said, oh my God. I hope this girl is not going to be addicted. So she ends up smoking the weed and stuff like that. And I don't know how much she smoked, but we saw her smoke a little bit at that time. What else, child? We saw Purple Side, said all that or whatever like that. Anyway, we see Scrap. So Scrap and Homie, they can't get in the front because they patting people down and stuff like that. So they ends up busting out a window somewhere and sneaking into the back or whatever. So Scrap like, well, who we hitting? Dude don't want to say nothing. So he like, So then we see it's Famous and Juke time or whatever like that. All that yak and Famous did. He the one get on the stage and freeze. So Juke tell the man to cut the music and stuff. And she started hyping up the crowd and stuff. And then she starts singing the hook, the chorus or whatever. And so then that started bringing Famous in, and they started doing their performance and stuff like that. So the whole time, Kanan, he bobbing his head and stuff like that. And I really wasn't paying attention to the words that Famous was saying or whatever. But it must have been about what Kanan did, because then Kanan's voiceover was like, see, that's what rappers do. They be rapping about shit they ain't never did in the hood and yada, yada, yada. So I'm assuming what Famous said was what Kanan actually did or whatever, because the way Kanan was looking like, the fuck, like, huh? And so, we see all that. In the background, we see Scrap and Homie. So Scrap actually ended up walking like this Kanan. Scrap was basically like right here on Kanan. So I was like, is they about to kill Kanan? Like in the freaking club like that? So they ended up walking away from him. So then the Homie finally tells Scrap, like, we finna pop off baby brother. So I said, I know they ain't finna kill my baby Lou. Like, I know that's not what they finna do. I know they is not finna kill my baby Lou. So, Lou ends up looking to the back, because it was like real spaced out and stuff. It just looked odd. So he looked to the back, and then Scrap went like this or whatever. So then Lou peeps it. And then So then Lou ends up hitting somebody and was like, F Southside, Brooklyn forever. Or F Brooklyn, Southside forever. Something like that. It just looked weird, child. So then everybody start running in the club. Everybody start running. And people was fighting and yada, yada, yada. So Scrap Homie and them, they run out. So then Scrap Homie ends up pointing a gun at Scrap and was like, you know what? I might have been born at night, but I wasn't born last night. And we already knew that you were still, playing both sides and yada, yada, yada. I said, oh, God. Scrap was like, his lip was just a shaking, child. So, we see that. And so then we see Marvin. He ends up scooping up the people that he was talking to earlier on in the episode and tell them, like, y'all ready to, but he ain't scoop them up. He just talked to them and was like, y'all ready to, get to work. And they was like, what, corners? And he was like, no, the highway. He was like, the highway? So then we see Marcus. He looking at Kanan picture. We see Rock. She's staring off the spaces. She looked real pretty without all that heavy-ass makeup on. Then we see Kanan and Davina. He about to lose his virginity, child. We see some white chick about to make Famous lose his virginity up in the bathroom stall. We see Nicole, she on the bus high rapping. I said, oh my God. And she tells Juke that she just want to be with Juke or whatever. They start kissing on the bus. Then we see Lou, they in a limo, him and his girlfriend and stuff like that. He real zoned out because he looking like, damn, almost lost my life tonight or whatever like that. So then she like, look, something. I like a man who could throw a punch or whatever. And he like, oh yeah, okay, shit, I can do more than that. Bitch. Let me show you. So then they start bow chickie wow wow, and I was like, oh, not that she was dry. I had to put some saliva down there. Oh girl, you supposed to always be hot and ready. But anyway, I was like, she about to get pregnant again. And then we see Kanan, he's sneaking in. Rock, she's sleeping. Gunshots pop off, and they was like, we got here go your boy, bitch, or something like that. So she scoop, run up, get her gun, run downstairs, and yada yada yada. Child, we see Scrap. He butt naked and beat deep up, okay? But he looked like he was still alive, but he was in his little tighty whitey. And he was a bleeding. I said, oh Lord, not Scrap. I kind of like Scrap. But anyway, y'all, that was the episode. Y'all let me know what y'all thought about the episode last night. Y'all let me know what y'all thoughts are. I was like, I know they not finna kill my baby Lou. Because if they kill my baby Lou, that was the last time I was finna watch this episode. It was going to be a wrap on Raising Kanan, okay? But anyway, like I said, y'all let me know what y'all thought down there in them comments. If y'all ended up liking this recap review, please go ahead and hit that thumbs up button. And if you are not subscribed to my channel, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button along with the notification bell to be notified when I drop new videos. All right, y'all. Until next time. Peace.